afternoon, and welcome to another NerdTube Titans review. I do apologize. We said that we were going to be doing this review a little bit later. We usually do it earlier, and life happens. And unfortunately, we are here now, but I am joined by two incredibly amazing co-hosts here. First off, I'd like to start with our special guest, the Golden Glasses Award winner of The Phantom, and also DC critic and lover. V-Man, how you doing?
Oh, finer than frog hair, my friend. Glad to be here.
Great. And of course, I'm joined by my Titan in arm, Zamadio. How you doing, bud?
Burning the midnight oil for you motherfuckers.
All right. Well, Titans season 4, episode 11, Project Starfire. We are in the penultimate episode, and we're not really going to do anything today, but we are doing whatever V-Man's doing because anyway, so this episode was littered with like lots of just stuff going on. We're obviously building up to the final episode next week because I believe there's only 12 episodes this season instead of 13. I don't know. Overall, what are your guys' thoughts on this episode? I'll start with you, Zam.
I have to say that this was a better episode simply because Jason Todd. Honestly, when going back to Gotham and seeing him, I thought, yeah, this is nice. I like this. This is a lot better because, V-Man, I don't know how you're finding this particular season, but I personally think that season 4 of Titans is absolutely fucking shit, and I've had to endure a lot of shit. I think killing off Lex Luthor, one of the greatest superheroes of all time, at the very beginning left a sour taste in my mouth because the whole marketing of this was around Lex Luthor being the big bad of this season, and to substitute him for motherfucking Mayhem was absolutely ridiculous. It feels very CW-ish at times. It's like CW with R-rated language. It's not necessarily a good show, and I'm not surprised that it has been cancelled. But I did actually like this episode in bits. The whole Beast Boy saga as well with the red, all fucking stupid as well. But just getting back to Jason Todd, somebody who is a proper badass, made me very much appreciate this episode a lot more. Finally seeing Tim Drake as Robin, something that we've been like leaning against for many episodes now, also was pretty good. I liked his actual moment where he had to take care of several goons on his own. That was a good coming of age moment for him too. This was definitely a better episode, but don't get me wrong, this doesn't redeem season 4. This show is still fucking shit.
Yeah, I'd have to say season 4 has been a real slag to get through. They keep going back and forth on the Brother Blood thing. It's like if you're going to make him like the big bad of the story, like the best time to do it would have been from the mid-season finale on, and leave the mother out of it. Like it's just like it's that shit or get off the pot time, because we're up to like the last episode and I really don't give a shit. The only thing that was good about the series in this season has been the Tim Drake stuff. The brother bond between Dick and Tim was great, especially seeing Tim grow on his own from last season to this season. And then seeing Jason come back. You're absolutely right. Tim going back to Gotham and running into Jason Todd. And the thing that I really loved was the subtle growth of hearing Jason talk to Babs on the phone. Seeing that character growth of, okay, he's now part of kind of that Bat family like he is in the comic. And instead of like, oh, he's a villain, or he's not Robin, but he's grown as a character, and just that subtlety of him taking a percentage or whatever his normal cut. I loved it because it stays true to the Red Hood character. It stays true to the Jason we know from Titans, which is slightly different from the comics. But it's the thing that I like about Titans is they take the characters and they keep the essence of them, but they change them for the TV show. But you're right, it did have Tim coming out as a coming of age type episode, the parts that he was in, and as Cheeto and I are both Tim Drake fans, this was my favorite episode. This is what I've been waiting since they announced him coming in season 3. So for me, this whole season, I wanted this in episode 1, episode 2, and to wait this long to right up to the end, and then we finally get him in the suit. Like, it kind of pisses me off because it's like, man, I didn't care about the Brother Blood shit. I didn't care about any of that stuff. You know, it was really boring to me. You're right, very CW-ish. And especially going up against last season, which I felt was really, really good. And season 2, especially with Slade. This one, I don't give a shit. And everyone talks about the actor who plays Brother Blood being really good. I don't find him all that interesting. I don't find the character interesting. I don't care about the mother. Like, the whole thing seems interesting with the cult aspect, but I don't give a shit. But I did like the Tim Drake stuff, the Jason Todd stuff. That was really good. As a Robin fan, this was, you know, seeing the chemistry even on the phone between Jason and Dick. It's fucking great. You know, this was, as a Robin fan, everything I wanted from a Titan show in the beginning. Who would have fucking thought we'd get those three in the same show? It hit all the right notes for me. So overall, the season sucks, but this episode is great. You're right. So.
I like seeing Jason Todd as a mentor. I don't think I've ever seen him as a mentor ever, and that was very refreshing too. He's got the dirty tricks playbook down to a T, and he taught Tim Drake things that Dick Grayson could never teach him. And
But the one thing I do love is that they did showcase a little bit of Tim Drake's playbook also, with, you know, him figuring out the cipher and everything like that. So it was almost like a rite of passage. I think Jason Todd could not figure it out. And then I think Jason finally, like, you know, he thought that this little punk, he's like, all right. He said, I'm gonna whip this shithead into place, or into shape. And he's like, he's probably just some like pussy or whatever, you know, like he's not going to be able to, you know, handle it, because, you know, no one can handle it like me. And then you could kind of see that moment on Jason Todd's face when he figured out that cipher. He's like, oh shit, this guy might actually be a good Robin. He's like, I am actually going to give this guy a shot. And that's when they started sparring. And he's like, he was giving him tough love, but you could tell he was doing it with care, because he's like, after that moment, he's like, this guy is going, and he even said at the end of the episode, he said, he's going to be a better Robin than me. You know what I mean? Like, and it's true. To me, Tim Drake is the best Robin.
Well, the one thing, he was working with Dick Grayson all along, which was a nice little thing as well.
Well, the one thing they've played up this season, and I really do appreciate, is they've been playing up the detective skills that Tim has. Because in the comic books, before the whole New 52 and then Rebirth and all that shit, which altered the character drastically and turned me off the comics altogether as a huge Tim Drake fan. But in the comics before all that shit, they really had Tim as being the world's greatest detective, you know, outside Bruce. And even Bruce looked at Tim and was like, one day he's going to fucking surpass me. And that's why, you know, he adopted the moniker of Red Robin when he, you know, passed on the Robin legacy to Damian, which I'm not a Damian fan at all. But you know, I don't fucking like him either. I think he's a fucking asshole. But you know, even Bruce was like, you know, this kid's gonna, he might even be smarter than me. And coming from Bruce, I mean, that says a lot. So I mean, I like the fact that all season they've been showing that, and even last season when they introduced the character, he figured out all that shit, which was very true to the character's origin. So the one thing, you know, they've done fresh, but they've kept true to the spirit of that character. So again, being the first time they've shown him in suit, I mean, that fucking Robin suit looks awesome. I mean, the one thing I hate about Titans is the color. They need, just like Star Trek, you know, all their starships in modern Trek, they need to brighten up, you know, turn on some fucking lights, you know, even when they're not in Gotham. Everything's a little bit too dark to see. But I mean, looking at the costume, it looks fucking great. You know, it doesn't look at all like Tim or I mean, it doesn't look at all like Dick's or Tim's or Jason's. But it looks enough like them to be recognized as Robin, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. And see, my big thing is with this season and with this Tim Drake is that this really should have been the mid-season. Like this should have happened during the mid-season break. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we should have had Tim Drake going to Gotham and then finding Jason, like during, at the end of episode 6, and then during the time skip or whatever, the mid-season break or whatever, then he's training with Jason. Like, I hate it when we have these like training montages that are like not montages, but these training episodes that are one episode. It's like, okay, he literally has 2 or 3 training sessions with Jason, and now all of a sudden he's a fucking badass Robin. He's still
Yeah.
not convincing to me as a fighter. Granted, yes, great detective, great everything else. I know he's been training a little bit with Bernard and Superboy and even with Dick probably. But it's like, when this season have they had time to actually sit down and train, for him to actually become a decent fighter? And I feel like there's no, like, it almost feels unearned, and which is sad because I want this Robin to earn it,
Well, in the comics, he trained with Lady Shiva. I mean, Bruce sent him off to go train with Lady Shiva, which is one of the most skilled fighters in the DC universe. And that, to me, like, he went off, and before he actually stayed, in the Robin costume, like he didn't even really want to put on the Robin suit because he was afraid he was going to dishonor it. So I wish they had done a little bit more of that. At the same time of helping the Titans from a distance, because I feel like you could have done a lot of those things from a distance while he was earning the suit, per se. So I agree with you in that regard. But I do like the fact that Jason did have him kind of come to terms with, you're holding back. And sometimes the only way to learn what you're made of is to kind of be thrown in the fucking deep end and sink or swim. So because I do kind of feel like Tim was holding back because I don't really want to hurt people, and I don't really want, now I'm fighting for my life, so I do feel like that was Jason's way of smacking him, throwing some fucking water in his face, wake up. So I feel like in that regard it works, but I do agree with you.
Okay, do you guys have anything else to say? I know we could gush over Tim Drake's Robin all day, but do you guys have anything else to add about that? Or
the Superboy.
Well, no, that's what I meant. Like, I was going to move on to. I was going to move on to Superboy though, so you go right on ahead.
Superboy, I still don't fucking trust him. At the end, because it's like, dude, you just got done fucking cutting some dude and letting the guy drink like a vampire from him, and then you come up all of a sudden, hey Dick, I'm on your side, let's be besties here, let's do a secret handshake. And I'm like, the fuck? Like,
yeah, like I'm like why? Okay, if he had Brother Blood powerless and he wanted to kill him anyway, why wouldn't he just snap his neck when he was normal? Like, I mean, I know you're not supposed to, and I know that would make Zam furious because he hates it when Supermen snap people's necks. But like,
I do.
Well, you do have laser. You do have laser eye beams that you could just fucking shoot through his head from a distance if you don't want to get your hands dirty. But I mean, the guy threw an apple your way and you caught it. Fucking throw it at his head. And, there's a million things you could do to kill the guy
before he becomes Super Blood dude.
Before you throw the Starfire bomb, which I was like, you couldn't have waited like 3 more percentage points before you. I mean. To me,
that wasn't his fault. That was Dick Grayson. He pulled the wires out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dick, you couldn't have waited. Like, you're tugging tubes there, Dick. Knock it off. Like,
that's what he was doing at the end of the what was it? The town, call or whatever. I don't remember what the town was called. But like, that's all he did. He walked into that room with the dude getting siphoned blood, and he just starts pulling tubes and wires. Like, that's all.
Yeah. Like that's in his contract. That's all. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He just wants to tug tubes. Knock it off.
Nuclear reactor. Let me pull the plug here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I really don't know what the fuck is going on. I mean, I know they're trying to bring back this father figure, and it kind of harkens back to season 1 where they're trying to bring back that dude.
Trigon.
Yeah. So. they're retreading old ground again. Mother Mayhem. 1 minute she's indestructible, then she's not, then she is, then she's not. Like, it's very inconsistent.
My prediction is going to be that we're not even going to see Trigon. Like, they're going to stop Brother Blood before Trigon comes back. I mean, maybe we'll see him, but I don't think we're going to have like some big Titans versus Trigon fight scene. I think it's going to be Titans versus Brother Blood, and they're going to stop it, and then they're going to stop Trigon from coming back again.
Well, here's a question. Like, ultimately, in the 3 episodes or 4 episodes that we've been back since the thing where old lady died, like, what purpose has she served? Because all they've been doing is ping ponging. She's alive, she's dead, she's alive, she's dead. She didn't do shit. So, like, why do that? Why do that? Why not just
old lady?
The mother.
Oh yeah, I know she died last episode.
I mean,
by
back.
And she went to Brother Blood's girlfriend and went.
Yeah, pulled
get the hell out of her fucking hand, Kalima. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I let you have that. I was gonna make that reference, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna let Zam have it. Temple of Doom is Zam's reference.
It's like Kano, and Temple of Doom in one there turns her fucking heart into a ruby, and all like, what the fuck is going on here? Seriously, what, you know, like, it's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. It's driving me nuts. You know, it's driving me. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, I don't think that makes any sense. Like, you wasted so much time on, oh my God, she's back. Oh my God, she's dead. Oh my God, she's back. Oh my God, just fucking leave her dead and focus on somebody else. Like, to me, like, you wasted like 10 or 15 minutes on this bitch being back, and now she's dead. Like, you could have spent that on, hey, Connor's really having a conflict moment. Man, maybe I should go to the Titans. Let me add some more to that. So when he actually goes and talks to Dick and Corey, I believe him. Or, because, I mean, it looks like he's dead. Maybe he is, or maybe he's not. I don't know. I mean, Lex died, and that made no sense to me. So this makes no sense to me. So
yeah, magic is kind of Kryptonians. Alternate kryptonite. You know, because they Soup Boys always have problems with magic, which I always love, because it's nice that they have a weakness other than a piece of rock.
Right. Well, and the thing about it is, like, because I don't trust him, the fact that he's dead now, like, it doesn't mean anything to me.
I don't think he's dead. He's not. He's messed up, but he's not dead.
To me, it looked like, I don't know. It looked like he had blood gushing out or something. I don't know. It was too dark to see. And that's. Go ahead.
No, I don't remember that. Like, but I mean, it might have been. I mean, I don't know. You're right.
I could be wrong. Yeah, it was dark. Like, I mean, his eyes were open. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not, but I don't know. Like, next episode should.
1 minute he's got powers, and he's not got powers, and a video game, and like, Connor, what the fuck's he doing?
Listen, Brother Blood should have been Brother Blood after he came out of the cauldron at the mid-season finale, or at the mid-season premiere. Like, he should have been Brother Blood. Like, not this will they, like you said, V-Man, not this will they, won't they bullshit. Like, he should have been full-on villain after coming out of that cauldron. None of this, this bullshit. Oh, I'm gonna join with Connor and make my video game. Oh, I don't love you, mother. I'm not nothing. Oh.
It should have been a constant fight, and every episode should have been upping the game of what the fuck is going on until the final episode where they finally take his ass out. Like, look at last season. Last season, when the mid-season came out, like, every episode after the mid-season, it just kept upping the stakes. And that was done pretty decent. It wasn't perfect, but I think season 2 and season 3, after mid-season, it didn't really disappoint to me, I don't think. And this season, it led up to a pretty good mid-season. And then after that, it was just like they just dropped the ball. It's like, we're canceled. Fuck it, who cares? Just cash your check and let's go.
Actually, they didn't know they were canceled. I mean, they probably figured they were canceled, but they didn't get canceled until after filming was done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they didn't. I mean, they didn't know that they were canceled, but I mean, everything else was getting canceled. That's not James Gunnified, so they probably figured they were canceled.
I'll be honest with you. I've never been so on board with a show to be cancelled that I'm actually watching like this one, because after watching this season, I'm done. Honestly, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to this show.
Well, they were talking.
Sorry, go on.
Well, they were talking about it going. I think the writers, the producers, whatever, they were like, yeah, we think it could go up to 10 seasons. You know, we at least had it written to 5 seasons, and then it could go to 10. We have the stories for what they could. And I'm sitting there going, you know, I'd love to see 5. I wouldn't want to see 10, because as much as I like the season, I think you're kind of milking it for too long when you go that long. I personally, and this is just me, I'd love to see Dick Grayson take on the mantle of the Bat like they had in the comics, like for the Prodigal storyline.
Yeah.
That's just me personally, because I feel like that's another place sure, that's another place to take the character. That I think would be interesting, since they won't give us Batman officially, but I think that's another place to go. It's not necessarily Titans oriented, but it's, you know, something else they can do with the character, because he's led the team as Nightwing. He's done his own thing. But I think 10 seasons is just not good, because I mean, look at Flash for CW. That show went downhill seasons ago, and it's like, I'm glad it's ending.
I was a big proponent of the CW DC universe. I really liked it. I thought it was what the movie universe couldn't do right. I thought the CW did right. Yep. But after Crisis on Infinite Earth, I was done. Because they gave us more than I could handle. Like, you know, I don't mind multiple shows, but then you got like 22 episodes a season. I can't do this anymore. Like, you're demanding too much from me, and then there's a level of quality that you need to maintain as well. And plus, you know, Crisis on Infinity Earth didn't necessarily end terribly well either. Like, you know, Oliver Queen with that monologue as he's dying, as he's combining the universes, and shit, it's just so fucking stupid.
Well, the problem with Crisis was, for me, I had been checked out for a couple of years before the Crisis, but I thought, well, I know what it's leading to. Let's get to Crisis, and that'll be a good clean slate. And then when they bombed on Crisis, I was fucking done. And I've kind of checked out since. The only thing kind of keeping me watching from time to time is me doing a show with Josh called WTF, What the Flash. And that's mostly just kind of ripping on the show. But I think the thing that really sucked about Arrow ending on Crisis was it wasn't a true ending to Arrow. It was more of a jumping off point for what was supposed to be like their Birds of Prey or whatever Arrow's daughter was, and Black Canary, and that other Black Canary. So to me, it was never really a true Arrow ending. Even with Crisis, it was more of a, well, hey, what jumping off point can we do? And that's kind of the problem with the Marvel universe, is now we've jumped into all the second tier heroes, or the second generation of heroes, without actually having true jumping off points for the first tier heroes. And I agree with you. Like the Arrowverse used to be like what you based everything on. The first couple seasons of Arrow were great. The first couple seasons of Flash were awesome. They were must-see TV every fucking week. And now, man, it's been 3 weeks since I fucking watched Flash, and I don't care. And before then, it was, months, and I didn't give a shit. I still haven't seen the last of the end season, even though I started a couple episodes of this one, and then gave up again because it was just so fucking boring. And Titans, I feel like, would get that way if they went to 10 years, and I don't think you need to go that way.
Everything runs its course, unfortunately, and I think a lot of these shows have as well. And I feel Titans has definitely run its course. It's run its course prematurely because they were obviously planning for many seasons. And it's a shame. It's a shame that it's coming to an end now. But then again, I'm not surprised, because in a way it warrants it, because it's so fucking shit.
I mean, I could have seen it going 7 seasons, but you're right. It found its footing in season 2. In season 3, it was kind of a lateral move, kind of. Season 4's definitely been a step back, and that's very CW-ish. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
you know, like season 1 was just horrible in my opinion. I did not like season 1. Season 2, as I said, with Deathstroke, it really found its footing, and I liked it. 3 was okay. 3 was pretty good, and then like this season is just there are elements that I like about this season, but I still feel like that this show is just it's I don't
It's
know if
all
it's
over the
too far
place.
gone, but it is. It's all over the place, and now they're trying to like Lutherify Superboy, which I don't mind that for a story arc character development perspective. But you're right, Vance. Like I don't trust him. You know what I mean?
If you were to do that, like, and here's honestly, like, if you were to do like 10 seasons of Titans,
No, I don't.
then
think
I would.
10.
But hear me out though. If you were to do 10 seasons of Titans, then I would say do the Lex Luthor Superboy story arc, but have him be the big bad. Have him go up against. You know, that's where I would feel it's appropriate. But the problem is you have too many storylines. Because I mean, here's the thing: I'm not a fan of Bernard and Tim in this. I don't feel like it's someone you just saw, and all of a sudden you're having relations with him. I think Tim's like what 17. I'm not.
I think he's like 19 or like he's.
Is he?
He's supposed to be older. Yes.
Okay, because see, I was uncomfortable when I'm like, wait a second, is he 17? Is he fucking having like, what the fuck is this? Are you?
No, I think they left it ambiguous for a reason. But the way that I mean, why would his parents let a 16, 17-year-old go with a bunch of random superheroes on a bus? You know what I mean? Like,
agreed.
So,
but the thing with like the Bernard thing, like part of the problem I have with like Star Trek, for example, you know, Deanna Troi is a wonderful example of this. How many aliens did she meet for that episode? And then all of a sudden, oh, I'm in love with her, or I'm in love with him. And it's like, you just fucking met them. What? And it's like, look, man, realistically, you haven't spent any time with Bernard. And like, realistically, we only have 1-hour episodes every week. And we're spending how much time here? And then we got the Connor storyline we're spending time with. Then we got the Starfire storyline. Then we have Garth's storyline. Then we have Dick's storyline. Like, how many storylines? And then you got the brother blood, the mother, and then you got like, I just like, look, cut back some of these storylines. So
yeah, in my opinion, every character cannot have an arc in every season, or even in you know, like that's why it's like, yeah, they're cramming way too many arcs in this season.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do Tim Drake, do the costume, and that's his story arc. Like if you're gonna do Bernard, do that like next season. Do that like season 5. If you know, if you're doing 10 seasons, and but like I said, for Superboy, have that be like him be the big bad. Like have that be, you know, over the course. But for this, fuck, dude, like none of this fleshed out shit is working. It's not fleshing out anybody, and I don't feel like we've ultimately spent any time with anything. Like I have no idea what the fuck the red is for Guard. I mean, all of a sudden he's some fucking hippie.
Yeah.
That goes into the multiverse.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck that is. And I know it's something in the comics. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And all of a sudden he's happy. And I mean, I don't know why you're happy. Okay, whatever.
And
I
you
mean,
got to see his Doom Patrol friends again.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck is up with that? Like, at least to me, I would have been like, hey, take Cyborg with you, because at least Cyborg is a Titan. But they didn't. So there's no payoff. So I'm like, why was that even a thing?
Well, I mean, technically, in this universe, Cyborg's not a Titan, but I mean, he's a Teen Titan in the comics and everything. But yeah, technically,
yeah. But when they escape that room, only Corey and Garth were together after they escaped. Like the other Titans, so the Doom Patrol guys weren't with them. You know what I mean? Which was just so weird. You know, I always thought that was weird.
Yeah, to me, but this would have been a great way to bring Cyborg over.
Yeah.
I mean, since they're great friends, like to me, it's just what was the fucking point? Because that episode was so out of the way. It's like, yeah,
no,
it's like
Corey found her center. She found what she was missing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm glad you got that out. I certainly didn't get that out of the episode.
No, she literally said it at the end of the episode, and if she didn't, I probably wouldn't have gotten it.
But how many? but Oh Lord!
You mentioned your like 10 season arc. What I would have done, maybe season 7 or 8, I would have made Dick Grayson Batman, and then I would have made Tim Drake Nightwing, and
No. No.
you have to, because
No.
there's no longer trilogies now; it's quadrilogies now. You
No.
got to bring in Damian Wayne at
No.
some point. You've got to, no matter how much.
I would no. I would
Here's-
not. I would not
Here's what
do.
here's what I would have done.
There can only be one Robin. There can only be one Robin.
Here's what I would have done. I would have, for like season 6 or so, move Dick to Bloodhaven, because ultimately he goes to Bloodhaven or whatever, and there's the Great Earthquake or whatever in Gotham. Go back and help Gotham.
No Man's Land. That's a good idea.
That would have been a great, easy way and a reason to bring Titans. Season 7, have Dick take the mantle of Batman for a while. You got Tim Drake as Robin. And have that be the season where Dick takes his mantle and steps up, and have Connor step up and take Lex's mantle. And have that be a power of, the Battle of the Fathers, where they both kind of go at it. So you've got, basically world's greatest detective versus the world's most powerful supervillain. So you've got basically a power of the minds, but the next generation. You got Batman versus Lex Luthor, Titan style. That's what I would have fucking done. I mean, that to me, it writes itself. But you've gone through, you've got the Titans as they've evolved. You've gone through Gotham's, cataclysm, the earthquake, No Man's Land, and then you've got, the next generation of the Titans. But you've got the big payoffs. And then you've got Dick returning back to Nightwing, the next season. And you've got Tim Drake, casting off the mantle of Robin, turning into Red Robin. Or maybe keep Dick as Batman and bring in Damian Wayne. I agree with that. Like, at some point, bring him in. But not for a while.
No, bring in Carrie Kelly. Fuck Damian. I don't want Damian. Bring me Carrie Kelly. Fucking Damian. Damian can rot in Bruce Wayne's testicles for all I care.
I think Damian Wayne and Jason Todd would get along like a house on fire.
Well, then you know what? Yeah, then Jason can train Damian. That would be great.
Damian is has already pretty much trained himself. Like he would feel like he already feels more superior than the people who are older than him, because he would think that he knows more than them in the first place. I mean, the guy's like a pint-sized assassin. And as I said earlier, there could only ever be one Robin. I don't like the idea of being more than one. So someone needs to take the mantle, and Nightwing will need somebody to take his place if Dick Grayson becomes Batman.
No, Dick Grayson is Nightwing. That is a mantle that I'm sorry. Like, honestly, I'm actually not a huge fan of Dick Grayson.
Don't you want somebody? Why wouldn't you want somebody to be somebody else to be Nightwing? Why does it only have to be Dick Grayson?
Because I don't like. I mean, I want Tim Drake to do his. I want Tim Drake to do his own thing. Like, I don't care
but once if Damian Wayne comes in and he ends up being Robin, then Tim Drake.
Drake can move on to his own. I mean, he's had several aliases in the like Red Robin. He's actually gone, which is stupid.
Red Robin is still the same shit. He needs to be a different name, totally different name. He needs to be Nightwing.
Well, he just pick another bird. He can be like.
He was Drake. Remember, he was Drake for a while.
Yeah, he could take over the moniker of Hawk in memory of Hawk from. Yeah.
As long as he gets to hook up with Dove, because she was hot.
She was hot. I mean, she looks young enough. She could shag him too.
That actress is in her 40s, by the way.
I know, but she looks young.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I mean, so.
All right, guys. Amazing. So I'm going to throw the poll up here in the chat. If for anyone who is watching, if you want to cast your votes, I say we cast our votes. Once we cast our votes, if you guys want to continue chatting.
Oh, one more thing. One more thing. V-Man, do you feel like the way Connor Luther was portraying himself, that he felt like a young Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, because he's bold and he's got a suit and he's powerful, he's strong, he owns an empire and everything like that? I mean, that's the vibe I was getting. You know?
No, I don't.
Well, fair enough.
he didn't feel like Connor to me, but he just, I don't know. To me, he felt like one of those, like, I don't know. To me, he just felt like a pretender. I didn't care for Connor this season, and it wasn't because he was the bad guy. To me, he just felt fake. So I don't know. Like, I know they were trying to channel his inner Luthor, but he when he was Connor, I mean, he felt believable. And with all of this shit, it was just.
I feel like it's too soon to have him channel the Luthor. Like you were saying, like season 6 or 7, let him go into the Lutherism.
He was
Well,
just a
I mean,
child
the
last
thing.
season. Yeah,
Well,
crazy.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you didn't get enough of who is this universe's Lex Luthor. Like, if you take a look at Michael Rosenbaum, we know who that Lex Luthor is. So if you try to imitate him, we know who that is. If you look at the Lex Luthor on Supergirl, that Lex Luthor, it's very different than Michael Rosenbaum. If you look at, go ahead.
That actor from 2.5 Men. He was Lex. Yeah, he was Lex Luthor's nephew in Superman 4.
Yeah,
which is, I love the way it all comes around. I love it.
Full circle.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
And the way it looks like, and from what little we got, this Lex Luthor is very different from those two. And the way it looks like on the Lex Luthor on Superman and Lois, the way from that preview, it looks like that guy is going to be very different from these two, or these three. He looks very, so to me, we needed to spend more time, like maybe half the season, with this Lex Luthor before we got a chance, before we got to see what Connor was. Because who's Connor imitating? Who's he inspired by?
Well,
and that's
what I was saying is, like, I really feel like Lex Luthor, like, they should have gone to the mid-season finale and nerfed him. And honestly, I didn't mind them killing Lex Luthor. I didn't like the fact is that he shouldn't have died so fast. And he shouldn't have. And, like, honestly, I feel like he should come back, because Lex Luthor is one of those people that's like, he knows what he's doing. He's 10 steps ahead of everybody, including the supervillains. So it's like, I feel like he should have had a plan to come back through magic or whatever.
I feel like Lex.
Once again, this was terrible. This was like us being fooled by the marketing that he was going to be the big bad of this season, and that's my issue. Like, they should never even revealed him in the trailers. That way, if he did die after one episode, it wouldn't feel so bad. But thinking that he was going to be the big bad of this season has really pissed me off, because he isn't. I feel like Lex's death should have. I feel like Lex's death should have been Brother Blood's birth. Where he dies and then Brother Blood is born. That would have made a much better mid-season finale than Lex gone in the first. Thanks, Noah. Like that would have made a much better mid-season finale. Thanks, Noah. You asked him when's it due?
Oh, he already left.
Oh, damn.
All right, boys. So I need to wrap this up. So with all that being said, let's start ranking it.
Sure.
I'll start with you, Zam. You go for it, Big Daddy.
I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10, and it gets above average marks, because I actually liked the moments when we were in Gotham, and those were my favorite moments. Seeing Tim Drake taking on those goons on his own, I enjoyed. Seeing Jason Todd coming back, I loved every time he was on screen. I fucking enjoyed it. More so than than all the other Titans combined. I feel Raven is very much like a fifth wheel at this moment in time. She's absolutely useless without her fucking powers, and it's pissing me off that
that's the thing. She has a version of her powers. We just haven't seen anything since the mid-season finale. Like, literally, she used her powers in the mid-season finale for like 3 seconds, and like we haven't seen them since. I don't think, like, at all.
And then all these like stupid moments, like creating a fucking ball to fucking put your powers in, that fucking Lex Luthor was creating. to copy Corey's fucking blue powers, and like this show is so fucking nauseating. But once again, the Gotham scenes was its saving grace, and I'm giving it a very, very generous 6 out of 10. That made me enjoy this episode. If it wasn't for that, I would have probably given it a 3 or a 4. So it gets a 6 just for that alone.
All right. Golden Glasses Award winner, V-Man. What do you give it?
Well, considering I've waited a season, almost 2 seasons for the Tim Drake shit, I'm going to give it an 8, just for that stuff, because it was worth the wait for me. I really enjoyed all that stuff, and then having Jason return for that, and just how they used him, I thought that was even better. And the fact that Dick and Corey gave Connor blue balls, I thought that was even more wonderful. So I'm going to give it an 8.
Literally gave him blue balls. Blue ball, because he's only got one.
Just one.
I'm gonna land in the middle, and I'm gonna give it a 7. I agree with everything V-Man said about Tim Drake. I did, and technically Zam, I did love everything about Jason, the interactions between Jason Todd and Tim Drake. I actually didn't like Jason Todd in season 1 and season 2 of Titans. I was not a fan of him at all. I got more frustrated with him. Now as he's the Red Hood, I actually tolerate him a lot more. So I do like that. You're right. Like the Gar like Gar just feels like a fifth wheel more so, but he's supposed to be important. Like the fuck is the Red? Like seriously, like I know more about what Red is on V-Man right now than what's going on in the multiverse with the Red. Anyway, but like yeah, so
I know more about Red when it comes to menstrual cycles than I do know about this fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean?
I know the actor wrote the episode, and he has a huge love for Beast Boy, and my thing is like that's great. I'm glad they gave you your shot to do something like that. I mean, that's awesome. Whatever to give it, but I have no idea what the fuck was going on, and I still don't. And then the following episode with the Doom Patrol, it was great to see those guys, but to me, there's no payoff. And if I'm going to spend an hour just for the payoff to be, oh, Corey feels good now too, and I don't give a flying fuck. You could have spent that time, more time with Tim doing his shit that I care about. Or, I mean, I just, when this is all we're going to get with these characters, and you're giving us bullshit with those are 2 episodes I could have done without, and I mean, no disrespect to any of those actors. So,
yep. Okay, so pretty much 6, 7, and 8 all around. How are you guys feeling? Are we going to take it home?
I don't care. I just want to see what the ending is for the sake of it and how they're going to wrap it up. But I really don't care. That's how I'm feeling about it.
Dude, let's do this.
Oh, I was say, what do you guys think for the last episode coming up next week? Zam kind of already said it, but
I'm excited. I mean, I'm as excited as I can be. I mean, I just want to see
fucking bursting with excitement right now. Once
I honestly, I can't wait to go watch Tim and Jason fight again on YouTube. Just because I know they got the clips, so I don't have to worry about the other bullshit with the mom getting killed with the horn. So I'm excited to see all the Titans work together. Not just focus on happy-go-lucky Gar or Corey that's found her inner peace. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, go fucking fight as a team. I want to see Tim as fucking Robin fight by Nightwing. To me, that's hey, great. If this is the end episode, go save the world. And that's all I really can say. Go save the world.
V-Man, look, one of my issues with this show is that Dick Grayson is hanging around the Titans as Dick Grayson, but that his secret identity. But he's also Nightwing hanging around the Titans as well, and nobody is correlated that both of these motherfuckers.
No. But Zam, Nightwing has a domino mask. Nobody can tell.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, because all the other characters don't have secret identities, but he does. And
what got me was when they all walked into Star Labs and they're like, "Hi, Mr. Grayson," and I'm like, "Man, I hope nobody ever turns coat on you guys. Holy shit, that would be if anybody ever hacks that shit, you guys are fucked." And it doesn't take much, to be like, let's see, Dick was adopted by Bruce, so Bruce might be Batman. Like, you're lucky people are on the honest note here, because it wouldn't take much.
Everyone in Metropolis is good and honest and wholesome, and everybody in Gotham is a piece of shit. We all know this, okay? I mean,
but
well,
like,
and take Connor Kent for instance. Like,
Kent,
now all of us, like,
yeah,
I mean,
right?
He's wearing the big S right there. Connor Kent. Clark Kent. Nah, it couldn't be, because he's got glasses.
This is the Daily Planet.
And
No, he's married to Lois Lane. Oh, whoops! Superman's always saving Lois Lane.
I wish that they put glasses on Connor Kent from the very beginning. Just to pay the homage of Clark Kent, and also give him some sort of secret identity as well, because Superman has a secret identity. Connor Kent should have a secret identity, but they're not really playing on that. As far as I mean, he's Superboy and Connor Kent. Now he's Connor Luthor.
They should have really stuck with Con-El, which is what his name is. They should have just really stuck with Con, and then have his friends call him Connor. Like or the public call him Superboy. Like they really should have stuck with that. I mean, once the public starts calling him, "Oh, Connor Kent," fucking serious? Like,
within 2 degrees. Within 2 degrees, they can figure it out.
Yeah, like, man, people are really dumb in this world, but it's it's okay. It's all right. Like, man, all right. So, I mean, if that's the hill you want to die on, Zam, I mean,
these are the things. These are sort of continuity errors and plot holes that,
guys, I have to.
I'm really sorry. Let's just wrap this up.
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry. I mean, I'll let you guys go. I'll turn it over to Zam.
Wrap it
I'm good.
up.
All right. So everybody, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Again, sorry about the scheduling issues. I've got some stuff going on right now, so I appreciate these two gentlemen being very flexible with me in and out of the bedroom. Anyway, love being here with you guys. Love talking Titans with you guys. Hope to talk more. I mean, hopefully, maybe next week we can try to get the series finale. Maybe we can try to do a big shindig and get the series finale out of the way.
Absolutely.
But I love having you guys here. Everybody, please, out there in YouTube land, like, comment, and share this shit out, because you know what? We only grow if you guys share it out with people. Like, if you're a part of a group, a DC Comics group or DC anything, and you're watching this Titans review, share that shit out. Make it known that NerdTube is the greatest YouTube channel you've never heard of until now. We will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.